Fierce ladies, welcome to the Moms in Real Estate podcast, where we unleash our unapologetic power to share the raw truth of our journeys. Brace yourself for a dose of empowerment, education, and encouragement like never before. I'm Kristen, a relentless entrepreneur obsessed with connecting and uplifting fellow boss babes. In this podcast, we're all about getting down to business, conquering motherhood, nurturing relationships, and so much more. Get ready to dive into the nitty-gritty, embrace the hustle, and unravel the secrets of success in the world of real estate. We're here to ignite your fire, equip you with the knowledge, and unleash your limitless potential. Tune in as we redefine what it means to be a true boss babe. Hey ladies, it's me, Kristen, your host of the Moms in Real Estate podcast, and today is going to be totally different than normal because I'm bringing in Kerri Hallman from Canada, and she's not a mom in real estate. However, she is a mom who owns a business who's going to talk to us all about hormone imbalances, stress, and living a healthy life, which I absolutely love this topic. I cannot wait for you guys to learn from her because if we are not feeling good, our business is affected. So this is totally a great topic for you guys to listen to, and I am so ready to dive in with you. Hi, Kerri.
Hi.
I am so happy to have you on because most of you all know that I love to talk about health and wellness, and I was connected to Kerri, and she is just been really fun to talk to and is going to share her journey being a mom and building a business, and we're going to talk all about health and wellness. So welcome, Kerri.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited.
Yes. Why don't you tell everybody about what you do?
Sure. So I am, in big terms, I'm a stress-reduced fat loss practitioner and a certified hormone specialist. In like lingo that we can all understand, I help women over 40 balance their hormones and live life in perimenopause feeling freaking amazing.
That is great. And honestly, that's probably so many of our listeners, and it's so many of the women I talk to because all of a sudden it's like I turned 35. Right now I'm 38. And the last like handful of years has just been all of us talking about how low our testosterone's gotten and all the problems that we're having. So I feel like I've dove into like the hormone side of everything over the last few years.
Yeah, we all get to that age where it's like, what the hell's going on? And then, you're talking to this person and that person, and it's like, well, I tried this and I tried that. Well, really, everybody's different. So if you're going to do something that your friend's going to do, it may have worked for her, but it might not work for you. And that's the part that we don't understand, because when we were 20, it did work. We all did what each other did and it worked. And now it's not working anymore because our bodies are so different.
Yeah.
We've all been through different things. We all have, you and I have similarities, but they're different experiences. So we all go through different things. So what one thing works for this person might not work for you, but everyone's kind of feeling that same like, oh my gosh.
It's so true. And it can be such a waste of money if you kind of just look at somebody who's like, oh, you should be taking whatever it is. And you're like, oh my gosh, I should. Like, okay, I guess I'm going to go buy that and take it. And that might be completely not the thing that you need to be taking. And I feel like I did that for so long that you just do what people said to do. And then when you actually look at your blood work and go into it with someone like Kerri, who knows what they're talking about, everyone is so, so unique.
Yes. And to that point, I used to be that person too, which I was like, oh, a multivitamin, I'll just take that.
And we're good.
I don't know, a fat loss. I remember taking like something that was like fat burning specific, and it was a pill, and it did absolutely nothing. So the amount of money I've wasted on certain supplements is ridiculous when my body probably wasn't lacking it. And now the knowledge that I have, I know that my body wasn't absorbing because of the gut imbalances that I have. My body wasn't absorbing anything. So I was literally taking them and peeing out expensive pee. That's it.
Very expensive pee. That is so depressing when you realize that.
I know.
What do you feel like most women come to you for? Like, what's their biggest problems?
So the biggest problem is they're frustrated because they don't feel good. Now that encompasses a lot. That could be that they're bloated all the time. That could be that they just have tried and failed to lose weight. It could be that they're not sleeping, so they're lacking energy. A big one is that energy slump in the middle of the afternoon. I would say the number one thing is weight loss. But when you get to talk about it, it's like, yeah, I don't sleep either, but that's okay. And I don't have any energy, but I just drink coffee for that. Or, all those things. Or I'm bloated, but like only after I eat XYZ.
Yeah.
And those are probably the biggest things that people come to me for. And the underlying things is that they don't feel confident. They don't feel sexy. They feel like they're aging at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
They feel like they're out of control and they don't know what to do.
Yeah. And so we have the same problems in America as you do in Canada. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we do. That's amazing.
Okay. So, and yeah, it's literally all the problems I feel like me and all my friends have. So tell me a little bit about stress and weight gain. I feel like that's something that you're probably like really talking a lot about right now. So why don't we talk about that? Because and how stress catches up with us.
Yeah. So this one, stress is one of those things where we often don't know that we're stressed, but we are. So if you drive a car, if you use laundry detergent or bounce sheets, fabric softener sheets, if you use makeup, if you use shampoo and conditioner, if you drink tap water, if you eat non-organic meat, if you don't wash your fruits and vegetables, your body is stressed. Yeah. So beyond the stress of work stress, kids stress, family stress, you're probably stressed and don't even know it. And the biggest culprit for hormone imbalance, AKA lack of weight loss or inability to lose weight, is your stress. Stress is like the thing. So we need some stress in our body. We need that stress response, because if you are being chased by a coyote, you're going to want to get the hell out of there. And your body is like, yep, I'm out. And it's going to take off. And you're going to be like, I don't know how I ran that fast, but I did and I got away. That stress response then goes away because the coyote's gone, you're safe. The problem is when we're like enveloped in those things that I just talked to you about, and plus many other things like laundry soap and tap water, etc., that stuff adds stress to our body that we don't even know, because it's not something that we feel. You may feel anxious at times. You may feel anxious all the time. So yes, you know at that point that you're stressed all the time, but a lot of people don't know that they're actually stressed.
Yeah.
For me personally, I was about your age, 37 or so. I was running my gym. I was working out like crazy. And when I gave up the gym a couple of years later, I was like, I'm free. I'm not stressed out. This is great. Like, I don't feel stress on my body. And at this point, I was diving into hormones and testing and all that kind of stuff. And I got my hormones tested and I was actually in burnout. I did not feel stressed. I was like, this is awesome. I don't have the gym anymore. Like, I don't have COVID stress, all that stuff. But it was internally that was slowly killing me, basically.
Yeah.
So I've suffered from gut imbalances. We've talked about this. Gut imbalances for years. I've been divorced. I've had 2 kids. They're 19 and 21. And like, life happens, right? And of course our bodies are going to be stressed, but we just don't realize how much impact that is. So back in the day, in our 20s, let's say, you could combat stress no problem. You could go for a workout and, whatever, do a HIIT class or a spin class, and you would feel better because your stress response wasn't, your stress container wasn't so full at that point. But over the years, the stress piles up, and then you go and do that same spin class because you're like, it worked before. And now you leave the class and you're like, I don't feel the same as I did before, but I'm going to try it again. And then you go again. And what happens is you end up filling up your stress container way more by doing that, because your body in perimenopause needs something different than it did when you were 20. And our stress has accumulated over the years without us realizing it, and our capacity is so much lower. So we really need to focus on stress reducing activities. We need to really focus on what's happening inside. And the only way that we can figure that out is through testing. You and I both know we can give up all the foods. We can take all the laxatives to get that crap out of us. We can do all the things, but really if you don't investigate the stress that your body is under and what's causing it, then you're just going to have problems down the road, because stress is not going to go away on its own.
No. And having the right, I always say, it's, just like as an agent, you need to have the right tools in your toolbox when you show up at a listing presentation. Well, we have to have tools in our toolbox when we get stressed out. And I think that that's been so hard for me because I've been stressed out since I was 8, literally. And I'm like, I thrive off stress. You know, that's kind of been my mentality my whole life. I like a lot going on. Well, all of a sudden, and my mom told me my whole life, like, you're going to give yourself ulcers. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I listened to everybody, you know, and I'm so mad. I just feel like I can hear my mom being like, I told you so.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh. And so one of the things that's helped me, and you can probably like really speak to this, is, you know, she actually reached out to me yesterday, but I hired this girl and she would send me like personalized meditations every week. She'd check in with me. What's going on this week? I want to send you a meditation. Her voice was so calming. And sometimes they were like easy, right? Like I might say like, oh, I'm like struggling with like my home life. And she'd have one that's already done for home life. So it wasn't like super personalized every time. But every morning I would roll out of bed and I would put her voice on and I would sit in my chair and listen to her. And it just like set the tone for the day. And being able to just be present, which if you're like me and you're high stress, sitting and being present is one of the hardest things. Like 5 minutes is so hard. Like if I've ever done a sound bath, I'm like, oh my gosh, we've been sitting here for 30 minutes. Or the end of yoga when you're laying there, I just am like, can't we just like run out of here? I have stuff to do. So exactly. It's been so much like mentally challenging for me to just reframe my brain into like, you need this, you know?
Yes. The things that I would have told myself if I was younger, and the things that I'm trying to tell my kids now when they're at that age where I thought I knew everything too. I really hope that just my example is going to be helpful for them. So you alluded to the yoga. I used to think yoga was for lazy people who didn't want to work out.
I still think that. I'm trying to be like, no, Kristen, you need to go.
You're younger still. You got time. But now I'm like, I never used to do yoga. And I realized, I mean, I'm the most inflexible person ever. And I realize now that I should have been doing it. Obviously should have, right? But I do it now once or twice a week in a heated space, which is amazing. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I wish this hour would go by faster. And then I'm like, no, Kerri, you're here. Be here. You can't leave. Like they don't let you leave in the hot yoga.
They actually yell at you if you open that door.
Yeah. So I'm present. I'm there. And I'm like, it's an hour. What's the big deal? And I've been able to come to that point. I remember I was going through my divorce and high stress. I had anxiety. Like I could not sleep because of a lot of stuff. But it was in that time of divorce. And I was at my therapist and he told me at the time, we had newspapers, and he's like, I want you to sit down for 5 minutes a day and read the newspaper. I'm like, no effing way.
No
way. I'm not doing that.
That sounds
He's
stressful.
like, okay, can you like grab a magazine and like look at the pages for like 3 minutes? I was like, maybe. And I didn't. And I now am so mad at myself for that because if I would have done that small thing, I probably wouldn't have been in the situation I was, 5-6 years ago, even now, because the things that we do in our earlier years, even though it's such a short time, really, like if you think from 0 to 30, it's 30 years.
Yeah.
But from 35 until you die is when you're in that menopause journey, when you actually have to do the things that help your body. It's a lot longer of a time.
Yeah.
And if you've done the damage over here and you're not fixing it, this is not going to be a very nice time.
Yeah.
So I really wish I would have learned this a lot sooner. And now I just my hope is that I can at least help my kids. Yeah. Because I see it in both of them. Now they're both kind of lazy sitting on their phones, right? Because that's just what that age group does now. But my son has actually been like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym a bit earlier because I realized I should stretch. And they'll come home and I'll be sitting in the sauna that we have downstairs. And they're like, you're just sitting here? I'm like, yeah, man, it feels great. And trying to like, this isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because I was always go, 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 never stopping. Stopping's for lazy people, wearing my busyness as a badge of honor. And all it did was kick me in the ass later on.
Yeah. I know. It's so annoying. It's like, I totally feel you. We are so similar. We are.
Hi, it's Barbara with your tax coach, and we love helping entrepreneurs save money on their taxes. Here's a quick tax tip. Improvements to your property, whether it's your personal residence or an investment property, helps increase what's called your basis, and it will help you pay less in taxes when you sell the property. So don't forget to always improve your properties. For more info, follow us on Instagram at Your Tax Coach or go to our website, yourtaxcoach.com.
So I actually want to go back to something you were talking about earlier. Like if you use dryer sheets and and you drive and all the things. So like maybe some people, I feel like a lot of people still don't even understand that like you do not use Bounce or you don't use Tide, whatever, what's it called? Laundry detergent. So like maybe give our audience, in case they're like, what are you guys talking about? A little bit of background, and then maybe share a couple of your favorite products. Cause I do feel like a lot of people struggle with like, if I don't use Tide, my clothes don't smell good. That's not true at all. No. There's so many great clean products out there, and it does take a lot of trial and error. So why don't we save you a little bit of time right now?
Yeah. So I went and changed I took about a year to go through and change my whole house and the whole system that we used. So for dryer sheets, that's very simple, right? I used to love them because my towels would come out and they'd smell so nice. And now I'm like, oh my God, like I was blocking my liver. Like I was literally putting toxins into my body and making my liver work overtime. I didn't know that back then. Something that we should be taught in school, but we're not. So instead of Bounce sheets, I just bought like wool dryer balls. So for one, you're going to save a ton of money. A lot of this stuff, you're going to save a ton of money because you're not buying them over and over again. So dryer balls, I've got ones that have little spikies on them. And then I've got another one that's like a wool dryer ball. So I actually put 3 in my dryer right now. But that was one thing that I did for that. You can make your own laundry detergent. And I know that sounds like I don't have time for that. And I totally get that. So for us, I don't know if you have Norwex there.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. So Norwex for us is like an online shopping of all kinds of natural products. Okay. And you guys probably have something similar there, but I use their laundry detergent. It's unscented. So anything that you do, unscented is best. And if you want a little bit of scent, essential oils is the best way to add that scent to it. Cleaning products. You can literally use like water, baking soda, and an essential oil, and it'll clean your surfaces. You don't need Fantastic. You don't need bleach. You don't need Lysol, all that stuff, because all it's doing, even my husband, I had this conversation with him last week. So he lives with me and he's still questioning me like, oh my gosh, it's toilet bowl cleaner. Don't we need to clean the shit from the toilet? Yeah. And I'm like, we do, but we don't need to use the toxic chemicals. He goes, well, how if it's not touching me? I'm just putting it around the bowl. And I said, because anytime you put something that's chemically and smelly into a toilet bowl, it's coming up. So you go and you squish it around, right? The aroma is getting into your nostrils, into your mouth. And that's what's being ingested into your body. You're not drinking the toilet bowl cleaner, but the fumes. So anything that's smelly, is it like there's some kind of like furniture polish?
Oh, yeah.
Just use like water.
Yeah.
Water on a rag. Yeah. Water on a microfiber. That's all I use, right? And a lot of these things I realized I was spending so much money on products when I have so many things now that are reusable.
Yeah.
So even for my face, I use 1 bar of charcoal cleanser in the morning.
Oh, I use that too.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then I've got like a natural face cream for my face. But that's all I use. And then a non-toxic mascara. I don't wear a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
And for us, we have Sephora. I don't know if you have Sephora.
We do.
Okay, so Sephora has a brand, Ilia, I-L-I-A.
I love Ilia.
They're all non-toxic.
Yeah.
So that's a great brand if you are into makeup. And I do have a little bit of blusher that I rarely use, but it's that brand as well. But at night, all I do is I have this pad, and it's from a company called Enyo. You can get them at Norwex as well, but they're just pads. They're reusable. I wash them once a week. You can like get off the grime with hot water, but cold water activates the like bristles inside. And I just literally wash my face with that. I take my makeup off I've got like a thing that covers my finger. It's reusable. And I just like use water. I don't use any chemicals on my face to take anything off.
No.
My shower, I have like a body mitt And I wash with water. My kids can't understand it. And I'm like, do I ever smell? And they're like, no. And I said, it's like, it's not that you need these smelly things to like make you, feel like you're clean.
Yeah.
So really the thing to think about is like, if it has a fragrance, it's going to clog your liver. If it's not natural, if you read the ingredients and you can't understand what they are, you don't know what the words are, that's probably toxic too.
Yep.
And you can make a lot of this stuff, do it yourself, and save a ton of money. And this is the biggest thing, because people are like, oh, going healthy is so expensive. But it's actually not. You're actually saving yourself a ton of money because it's reusable stuff. Glass containers, best thing to store your foods in, right? Don't any plastics, like get rid of those. But glass containers, reusable. Like they're not going to break unless you drop them on the floor. And if you have young kids, maybe like, try something else. But a lot of it is like, to make it simple, anything that smells, don't use it.
Yeah, there's a brand that I use, if anyone's listening, about like here in the States, that it's everywhere. It's at like natural grocers. You can get it. I think it's Sprouts now, but it's called Zuma. And it is actually like, I feel like of all the laundry detergents, that's been my favorite. I love Ilia, like you're saying. There's a website called Crunchy where I got the charcoal bar for my face, and they have a really good face toner. There is, if you're local to Arizona, there's a girl who's opening up a place called Freed Beauty. It's all clean products. And because one of the things you don't know is you have a clean product and then all of a sudden they get absorbed by these bigger companies and they ruin them. Like Siete. I was about to cry when that brand got absorbed by Costco. I was like, no, why would you ruin that? And so this girl, she actually like is on top of everything. Like every month she's doing all the research, making sure it's safe. And she has an online website too. So I will put it in the show notes so that everyone can have it. But she has makeup on there. She has everything. And the last thing I'll say, just because you don't wash with soap on your body, is I stopped wearing deodorant. I read this article, Matthew McConaughey doesn't wear deodorant. And I was like, I stink. There's no way I could not wear deodorant. Like if I left the house and went to the gym and forgot deodorant, like I would just not work out. I'd be like, I got to go home. Like my armpits are going to be sticky. And so I was like, I'm going to try it. So I detoxed my armpits for probably a week. I did like a charcoal thing on my armpits and I didn't wear deodorant. And like, guess what? I don't smell. I'm like, this is so cool. And so, and I am sweating. You should sweat. Okay. Sweat's good. Yes. You don't want to like keep that stuff in your body. So there's a lot of retraining your mind when you go down this hole. And I like what you said too about like, she took a year to get rid of the stuff in her house. Okay. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to throw all this away at once. I felt like that and it was overwhelming. So slowly start to transition. Cause it is, if you're like, I've got to get new, this, that, the other thing, all of a sudden you're spending all this money. One thing at a time, slow down. Don't throw everything away right away. And that's definitely.
Once something empties, go the natural route the next time. Like,
yes,
I'm not about wasting either, right? So just start researching and looking at these things because it does matter. And I really, again, I wish when I was younger that I would have cared about this stuff. And because I wouldn't have been in such a hard place now.
Yeah.
Because the longer you let it go, the longer you allow your body to have these things absorb into you. I was like, we have this place called Bath and Body Works here in Canada.
Oh, it's the devil.
You guys have it too?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Smelly, like beautiful creams, candles, all this stuff. And I'm like, this should be banned. Like I walk by and I'm like, no.
Yeah, like you're killing people. I know.
Yeah. Like you're making people sick. And that's the thing is like, and my daughter, who I like, the same kind of thing. You can show them, but you can't tell them.
Yeah.
Right? And especially as young adults. So she loves the smelly stuff. And I'm like, just please don't buy it from Bath and Body Works. Like, please just don't buy that stuff. And she'll buy like air fresheners for her room and I'll like rip them out.
Yeah.
And then she'll put them back and I'll rip them out. And I'm like, I don't want to smell that stuff. Like, it's in my house. It's wafting through. So they learn by like just learning why, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even my kids are 8 and 10 and I'm not kidding. Like my sister was like, I'm going to stop and get you Burger King before practice because she was taking him. He's like, oh, I'm not eating Burger King. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, that's trash. Like, he's like, it is actually like, because we showed him like a McDonald's under the microscope and it was actually, there was trash in it. But yeah, you got to show them and let them make their own decisions. Okay, so everyone listening might be like, why the heck are we going down this road? This is moms in real estate. Okay, the reason I love to bring this into my business is because if we do not feel good, guess what suffers? Everything else in our life. So you might be like, I am selling 50 homes a year and I'm blah, 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 all these amazing business things, but like you're struggling because you're in pain all the time. Okay, like we've got to pay attention to this stuff or we cannot perform at our highest. And I think that's so important. So the more you get control over this, even if you're not having problems right now, it could happen down the road. So this is something to look at no matter if you're in business or not. That's why I really want to talk about this on the podcast.
I will say I have worked with realtors and you guys have a very hard schedule because you're kind of at the whim of your clients. When they want to see a house, when you're trying to close a deal, it could be 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Your nervous system is going to be fired up when it should be going down, ready for bed. So learning ways to just navigate that part, right? Every person's job is different. And real estate is probably one of the hardest hit on your nervous system and on your stress. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
And from my experience of working with them. But there are ways, and this is why I work with people individually, and it's not just a group cookie cutter program, because everybody's life, everybody's body, everybody's job is different. And I can't say you have to do this when you're like, but I'm always at client houses at 8, 9 o'clock at night, or, we're trying to close a deal here, or I'm trying to get client information, or people are texting me because they want to know when's this, like this house. Oh, I saw this house, blah, blah, like, right. There are ways. It's just figuring out what works for you in your life, because like you said, if you don't get a handle on this, if you don't get control of this, as you age and get to be my age at 47, you're going to feel the effects and you're not going to feel well. And when you don't feel well, productivity goes down. You don't work as hard. You don't want to work. You're depressed and all the other things that come with it. And then your work suffers. Yeah.
And you still have a long time to work at 47. So you got to get this shit under control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So why don't we wrap it up with you sharing a little bit about if somebody wants to be connected to you or they want to learn from you. You're in Canada, so that's far, but there's still ways to do that. So why don't you kind of explain that to everybody?
Yeah, so I can work globally. So we would meet online at convenient times, things like that. But if you want to learn more and just hear about a lot more of what I'm talking about, Instagram or Facebook are the two places. Instagram is kerri.hallman.fit and Facebook is just my name. So you can always connect with me there. Let me know that you heard us on here so I know where you're coming from. We'll have a conversation. If you have any questions, please reach out. It's always me answering. There's no one else answering my Instagram. I really feel like I like to connect with everybody and just make sure that, your questions are answered kind of thing. And if you want to check out my website for more information, it's www.kerrihallman.com. Super easy.
Yeah, that is so easy. And absolutely, if you're listening to this podcast, you should be connecting with all the guests. We bring in some fantastic women. Let them know that you listened to the show and that you loved it. And I'm so thankful that you came on and that we got connected on Instagram.
Yeah, no, me too. No, it's amazing when we started talking just how many similarities we had. And it's like, wow, I never would have met you if we hadn't been connected. So
yeah.
Great.
God is sweet like that. He puts the right people in our lives for sure. Awesome. Thanks so much for being on, and we will talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Kim
and Whitney
from Real Social Agent, and we love helping real estate professionals create social media content that helps them grow their business.
If you're a real estate professional looking to save time and create more effective content, we're about to make your life so much better.
You're amazing at what you do, and we're here to make sure everyone else knows that. From social media coaching to custom content creation, our job is to make you shine.
Follow us on Instagram at Real Social Agent or download our free Reels 101 library at the link in the show notes.
Thanks, friend, for listening to the podcast. We love having you in our community. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a review or share it with a friend. Also, we'd love to connect with you on Instagram. Go follow us at Moms in Real Estate.